we're joined with Jay Pepper from Tigertailz, along with my good colleague from desTINAtion, John Craig. Hi, Jay. How's it
Hi
going?
there.
Hi guys, how you doing? All right.
Yeah, not bad, pal. Yourself?
Yeah, keeping well, thank you.
Well, I've never. I have a horrible confession to make. I have never seen Tigertailz live. Can you imagine any man brought and steeped in rock and metal never having seen you guys? Well, I am a Tigertailz virgin. Not many people can say that.
Well, yeah, we've matured, so you, you're catching us like a fine wine now, I guess.
That's what I like to hear because I'm really looking forward to it. I've been playing your current single. I think it's the most played song that I've played in my own radio show. Because normally I only play something maybe twice. I think it was about 4 to 5 times I play. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely love it. I love the vocals on it and everything. I think the whole thing's great. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I can't quite believe how well it's gone down. I wrote the song really quickly because we had Ash in the band. We kind of had a resurgence around about December, and it's been it's like trying to get a band back up and running. It's not a quick process. So I did that song quite quickly. I've got other songs written and recorded, and I guess we'll get on to that in a minute. But I just felt that it needed something a bit more up tempo, initially to just get that feel good factor. I felt the whole kind of music scene is so entrenched with all that kind of testosterone, all that kind of stuff. And I thought, no, everybody needs a break from that sometimes. And at the end of the day, we're a 80s, 90s band. That's the sort of songs we write, so unashamedly so. And it was like good time music, hopefully. And that's what we try to recreate with the video and the song as well.
Well, when it gets sent to me, and I heard the riff at the start, I heard the beginning, and I heard Ash's voice coming out, right? Because that's what, as a DJ, and Phil's the same, we absolutely dread getting sent sort of music or somebody we've never heard before, because you can just imagine being honest, and you sit there and the music's coming in, and you're going, this sounds amazing. And then all of a sudden the vocalist comes on and you think, oh shit. There's nothing worse. We didn't have that with you guys, honestly. As soon as you started, I was like, yeah, I'm sold. This is cool.
No, thanks, man. Well, that's given us this new lease of life, really. I'll be honest with you, I was kind of done with the band. I thought if the last singer, messed us over last year, and that we got rid of him, I thought that there was no coming back from that. We'd have so many lineup changes, and cut long story short, Ash came in and. As soon as he started singing the songs, and we had him singing some old songs, and then we released that 6X for reissue, and he brought all those songs back to life again. He sounds like Kim back in the day, and he's got such a different take on the whole thing. It was like these two genres of metal that just should never kind of come together and meet, but it kind of works, and so it's given the band a real shot in the arm, and the enthusiasm's there, and I think that comes through in that song.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's like a party in your ears. That's what I described it, I think.
Yeah. That's a good description.
I'm glad you like it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So, moving ahead and that, have you got a new album planned on the horizon?
Yeah, we were kind of working on or looking at, I was writing songs anyway with a view to doing like a solo project. But as I say, Ash coming in has kind of put all that kind of at sea a bit. And now we've got people wanting new music. But at the same time, we were actually looking to do like a best of album. But instead of it just being a best of like a one album, when we went through the songs, it was like, because we've been around 40 years, so there's, I don't know, about 10 albums worth. When you try to come up with a single album worth of stuff just as a best of, it was like there's not enough room for it. So we thought, actually what we thought was a good idea, then we're going to do like a best of volume 1 and volume 2, but have them together as like a vinyl release, obviously digital release as well, but as a vinyl release, maybe CD, we'll see, we'll get to it. But so that we're working on that, and that's coming together pretty cool. But at the same time, I'm writing new songs, and because that single's gone down so well, I don't really want to kill the momentum. So I thought perhaps what we should do is, I've got 2 songs already written and done, and Ash has sung them, and we just got to finish them off. I thought, why don't we release that as an EP, like a 4-track EP? And so that's what we're going to do next week, rather than people waiting another 6 months or more for the best of stuff to come out, because that's going to take some time, because it needs to be a comprehensive package as well with the 2 albums. And, you know, that takes quite a bit to put together. So I thought as a short-term thing to, you know, to not keep people waiting, we're going to release a 4-track EP, 2 brand new songs. Well, it'll be 3 actually with You Can't Stop the Rock, but 2 brand new ones on the side A. Side B, You Can't Stop the Rock, and 6X. So they all with Ashley, and they're getting, and we'll release that as a physical product before it goes digital. So if you really want to hear those new songs, you kind of need to get the physical copy, you know what I mean? And that kind of, because people get a bit pissed off, particularly our age group, you know, who are diehards, who don't really, they're not really cool with the whole streaming thing. They like the physical product, and we've had a bit of a criticism. I say criticism, people, you know, they still want that. So I thought if we do that as a 4-track EP, brand new songs, they get that first before anybody else gets it. You know, kind of a bit of payback to the real diehard fans. So that'll be done. We'll have that in the next couple of months for sure.
That's the one big thing that's changed, you know, for you guys. Started when it was vinyl and that was all that mattered, and then albums mattered and things like that. Nowadays it's literally as a case of, if you're not releasing new music every month, every 2 months, and releasing it on Spotify, then you're basically getting forgotten about, other than by your diehard fans. But if you're trying to attract new young fans, then that's what you have to do. So to me, you know, this is kind of what I do outside of this, is work with bands and things, and that is what you need to do, and you're spot on. And the thing is, when the reaction I got to playing your track on my show, and I don't normally play legacy bands, I normally play grassroots, you know, like the absolute newbies, but the reaction I got to it, I was like, I was dreading maybe that you would wait and bring out an album, because really it's just that nowadays it's a bit momentum.
Yeah, and it's staggering, as you say, with Spotify being probably the main, you know, streaming service for most people. You get the one good thing about Spotify is it's really entrenched in like loads of stats. So if you're looking at your market, you can get all the stats you need from the Spotify as an artist app, you know, which obviously we've got, and we're members of all those different things. But so you can see exactly who's buying it, which countries they're in, which it itself is staggering, even which cities they're in, you know. But what's amazing is, and we've seen it, this single's only been out just 4 weeks, you know what I mean? And it's been flying. And as soon as kind of that initial buzz wears off, that you get those monthly listener stats. Amazing the way you can see it drop off, you know. Literally, there's like, it's almost like I've had this fast food now. It's sucked up all the people who are into us, and maybe some new people. And the listenership went, you know, through the roof kind of thing. Then it plateaus, and then now within 4 weeks, we can see the drop-off starting to happen already. It's quite unbelievable. It's like literally fast food. You know, people have had that now. You know, what's next? You know.
That's the best analogy. It's the analogy I always use when I'm talking to young bands. I just saying, back in the day, if you went to a different city or a town, you would ask somebody local, where's there a good place to eat? Now everybody goes to McDonald's, KFC, or Nando's or something, because they know what they're going to get. And that's the world we live in now. It's an easily forgotten world. It's just, we want the same old. But it's exactly what happens. And that's why you have to keep bringing out some new content, not necessarily new songs, but new content on the platforms.
Yeah. And it's you know, that and this is where it's difficult for a band like us, because we don't, you know, and there's a long story about what we do and how we kind of jump in and jump out, and it's all about keeping the band fresh for me. But for us to do a record, we're not like you know, an acoustic band or one of these kind of grungy bands that can just knock out an album in 5 minutes. It takes months and like a year or more for us to write the songs, record them, because it's big sounding, you know, 80s, 90s music. That's what we make. And that's not quick to produce, you know, it's not quick to write, it's not quick to record, and it's not quick to get out there. So I didn't want people, like I say, hanging around for another 6-12 months while we're trying to get this best of thing together. So we'll drop these little, like I said, EPs and maybe some other like bootleg stuff in amongst that, because as you say, it's constant content. You got to feed the machine, man. Feed the machine. It's just constantly give it some more food.
You've nailed it, Jay, because that's exactly what you need to do, and I'm glad that you're doing it, because I would like to see you bring in a load of new fans. I mean, even for the scene, not just for yourselves, but for the scene. Because I think bands like you know, when you see the likes of the young guys, Bad Actress, you know, the kind of some of them are kind of the glam looking, that kind of music they play, but they're like 20-year-old or something, and they're attracting people in, because of what they are. Or Zach and the New Men down in South Wales, they look like Jimi Hendrix's grandchildren, but they're so cool, and they're bringing in 18-year-olds into rock, and that, so people like that need these bands need the Tigertailz of this world to really keep smashing it.
It's interesting that, because where you talk about, like, and us, we've been around so long. From a listenership where you were saying about the new bands, I'm going back in time, because when I was at that age and when we were starting, all the legacy bands as they were then, I was into a lot of them, like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and that. But there was a lot of bands like the Faces, Bad Company, Mott the Hoople, who I was like, well, they're dinosaurs. I'm not interested in them, Now, at this time of life, I'm actually going back in time and I'm listening to those bands in earnest, and I'm realizing how fantastic were. The Faces are probably the greatest band I think have ever existed. Bad Company, Mott the Hoople, fabulous bands, but when you're on a tour, when you think that what you're doing is cool at that age, you dismiss all the stuff that's just gone before it. But it's a disservice to do that. We all tend to do it, but because we want to be on the wave of the cool thing. But yeah, but where I think relevance probably not a word, but I mean, we've got such a massive legacy there. And I think when people see us live, they're always like, oh, okay, now I get it, because that's another skill you learn as well, playing live. You go and see a band, and so you should as a fan or music, you go and enjoy it, and so you should. But my God, there's some work that goes into that. And because we're, again, old and maturing, we don't kind of put up with a lot of crap, and I mean, in terms of the live performance, it's got to be good, it's got to be solid. And I think now with Ash fronting the band, we're a proper unit, every base is covered. And when you're younger, you kind of think you can get by being a bit sloppy, a bit rubbish. And that's not what we do, that's not that. And hopefully you'll see that when you come and see us in a few weeks.
Yeah. I do get a sense from your new material and everything, with all the changes in the band. Suddenly there's a newness about Tigertailz. It's like you've hit the scene again. If that makes sense.
And I think, like I said, getting back to that song, You Can't Stop the Rock, I think the scene is it's weird the way it goes up and down. I read about Dee Snider a few days ago saying, the early 2000s, no one wanted to know about Twisted Sister or that whole scene. He couldn't get arrested with any of his stuff. Then a few years, the scene changed, and suddenly they're the in vogue band again, and they went on those few world tours, and he managed to sell his catalog and all that kind of stuff for an amount of money. But he said before that no one was interested, and I think we're at that kind of thing again. I mean, the scene is so full of, as I say, that testosterone, and everybody, the young bands particularly, they all think they're new doing it. I mean, but to us who've been around for so long, it's like, okay, there's nothing you're doing I haven't heard before. You're just doing it in a new way, and that's cool. We all, we take bits out of different genres or different eras, and make it your own. But I haven't, personally, I'm not seeing anything other than just everything that's gone on 1,000 times before. And then you look at all the major festivals and who's headlining. I mean, Download just happened, Metallica twice a week, 2 sets, in the weekend. Incredible, and 100,000 people there, and you get the same, Glastonbury, Guns N' Roses. I mean, it's always those 80s bands are still there, and I mean, and if you go and look at the stats, the biggest grossing bands in the world, like all over 70 years of age. What does that tell you? I don't know where they're going to go with the new bands. Where there's just not. I don't know what's going to happen when all the legacy bands disappear, because we're at that point. That's where we're at. It's just they're going to be dropping like flies over the next few years. I think.
Yeah. I mean, you only to look at the Rolling Stones. I mean, some of them are in their 80s and still doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chrissy Hine was up there and Glastonbury 71. Yeah. I mean, smashing it. Brilliant. And I mean. That's incredible, and I think I remember when I was in my 20s, the arrogance of you when you're that age and when you're in a band and you think that what you're doing is so cool, and everything that's gone on before is like, oh, the dinosaurs. You're very dismissive of it, but I mean, they're just amazing, and Metallica and all those bands, and I thought Guns N' Roses, they sound amazing, and I still think you can do that. But when you're 20s, you think 30 years old, But the way we've all gone on, and like Kiss and all these bands are still doing it, I don't know. It's just elongated those careers. Because years ago, you were over, 30 years of age. You were considered well over the hill. Well, as you say, now the guys are in their 70s, 80s and still doing it. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, well, having watched quite a bit of it, I actually thought the Manics were the best on the whole weekend. I thought the Manic Street Preachers were absolutely fantastic. I really did. I thought they were amazing. I never watched Elton John though, so I can't comment on him. It's just not my thing, man.
I'm with you there. I've never really got that, but I mean, and the other thing, when you get to this age, you haven't got anything to prove. You're not trying to make it. You're not trying to. You're happy. I say happy with your lot. You are what you are. People either dig it or they don't. And you don't really care. So that pressure's off. It's all like you're just rolling with it, and all that stress that comes with it. And for the most part, it's still hard. Don't get me wrong, and I get nervous and stuff before we go on, but it also is this kind of calming factor about it, where it doesn't really matter. I'm just grateful to be able to still be doing this. That I'm healthy enough, and I can. It's quite amazing, really. If somebody said I'd still be doing this 40 years later, I would have been like, no, as a band, you think you've got a 5-year survival rate, and that's it. So, and I'm sure those guys are the same. There's a certain amount of pressure that's just gone, because you don't need to prove anything, really. You're not relevant. You're not down with the kids, and that's interesting. I don't know if you did look at the Glastonbury go. Quite amazing when you looked at the different acts, when they panned out to the crowd, the different demographic that was there. You could very much see the kids, watching Rizzo or Lizzo or whatever, and then you watched the Manics or the
Lizzo,
Pretenders, and that's all us middle agers there. But still, they're still doing it. So and I just think you just kind of mature, like with anything. You should get better at it, not worse.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you were at the end of your career, so let's say in 20 years' time, 30 years, whatever, and you're just looking back on Tigertailz, what would you think, if you had to put in sort of like a few sentences, what it meant to you? What would it be?
I always just thought on my gravestone, just put, a life lived. That's it, really. I've just always thought it's just about doing something as opposed to nothing, because just live your life. And I don't. This band has always we've always been a bit underground and always up against it in every regard. Even when we had our success back in the day, we've always been hated by the music industry, hated by a lot of rock fans, because of the way we look, so dismissive. So we've always been a bit like the bully guy who's got his hand on our head, and we're kind of like this fighting. We've always been trying to fight against everything. But we're just I just think we've done our thing, and it is what it is. And I think we'll finish up with these, like I said, the best of albums, volume 1 and 2, and maybe probably another album, and that'll probably be us. I don't know if it goes beyond that. I never look any further than that. It's such a big deal to record an album and get it out there. I would just say I did something, I suppose. A life lived. That's it.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, I think that's, if every one of us could put that in a gravestone, I think we'd all be quite happy with that. A life lived fully.
Well, there's so many battles here, and I get asked this all the time with the young bands, and particularly, what advice would you give them? And I always say the same thing now: do it because you love doing it. Don't ever think about it as being successful or being rich. If you coming at it from those point of views, the music business now is like a non-business. I say this all the time. It's a non-business, and what I mean by that is that your business is, you create something, it costs you an amount of money to create it, you promote it and you sell it for a profit. That's what a business is, and that's how you market your product and you sell it for a profit. You can't do that now because there's no real product as such. You're not making anything. What you're making is music that is generally almost worthless with the streaming services. You're getting so little in royalties. You're not creating a physical product anymore that you can sell. The only thing you can really sell is your live performance. Now, your live performance is worth something, but that is only worth something if you're somebody. And to be somebody, whereas the record companies, don't get me wrong, they were all sharks and you'd get ripped off, but they had that infrastructure and all the contacts to support you and further your career. Now, that cost you a load of money, and we all got ripped off, but they promoted you, and that worked for a lot of bands. But now you can record something for a fraction of what you used to do in your bedroom, like most bands do. You can put it all on YouTube and Spotify, but no one generally is going to hear it, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to go nowhere. So forget trying to, just do it because you love doing it and you want to do it. simple as that, really.
Yeah, that advice you've just given. I mean, desTINAtion, as you know, is about celebrating the life of Tina Sherwood. And Tina worked with me mentoring young bands. I mean, like under 25-year-olds and artists in the Forge Ahead initiative. And she was very grounded. She always told them all the kind of stuff you're just saying, which is primarily go out there and enjoy every second of what you're doing. And that's what's exciting us about celebrating life in this way. So what can we expect from desTINAtion 23 from Tigertailz? Have you got anything lined up you can tell us about?
Well, we've just finished a run of shows where we were supporting Steel Panther and did a one headline show in London, which was like a full set. But so we've been doing kind of shorter sets, and last week we played Hard Rock L. So for here we're going to play obviously a longer set, and so we're going to introduce a few tunes that we haven't played for quite a long time. Some of the heavier stuff as well, because we've got this mixed bag of catalogue that goes from left to right. We've got poppy songs, we've got heavy songs, we've got ballads. So we're going to try and throw all that in there. But we're also going to be very active in meeting and greeting people. I don't ever believe in this business of charging for VIP and charging people to meet and greet. I will never do that. And so we'll come and meet everyone before we play, probably. I think because time's a bit of a struggle there, fit everything in. So probably before we play, we're going to come and mix with everyone. If they want to have a photo, whatever stuff signed, we'll do all that and try and make the evening as so much fun for everyone. I know Bertie, our bass player, I didn't know Tina myself, but Bertie was very close to the new as well. So it means a lot to him and us as a band to do the right thing, So it's going to be a very, hopefully, engaging and fun, evening. And we don't want anybody being morose or any of that kind of thing. It's all about up tempo and everyone smashing it on the night. That's what we intend to do anyway.
Well, I think that's the reason why Steve in that picture. That was why Steve went, I think we should go for Tigertailz. And me and Phil went, all right, yeah, cool.
Talking about Bertie, you've got some new T-shirts out, haven't you?
Yeah, we've done another run on the original stuff because it won't go away. We try and introduce new designs, as it were, but every time we do that, people go, "Oh, can I have the original?" It's Clint, our tiger with the fingers called Clint. These are designed by Pepsi, and this is unbelievable. I mean, they're 30, 40-year-old designs, and people go, "Can we have the Clint shirt? Can we have the Love Bomb Baby shirt?" So we've done a reissue of both. And there's a new one, You Can't Stop the Rock thing, just a plain white shirt. But yeah, they'll be on sale as well if people want them.
I think you quite got me there. The T-shirt regarding Bertie, I saw Lindsay Watt wearing one the other night. That T-shirt.
That T-shirt, sorry. Yeah. I don't know if I can swear on it.
By the way, I need one of them.
Yeah. That's becoming a cult lore in itself, isn't it? He's Bertie, yeah, who the hell is Bertie? So I got to get me one of them myself.
Yeah. Well, the thing is there's about at least 10 bands can answer that because I think he's in them all.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I'd just like to thank you, Jay, for sparing us the time and for talking to us. It's been a really, really enjoyed chatting to you, mate. And I can't wait to meet you in the flesh on the 15th of July at desTINAtion and to seeing you guys live for the first time ever.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And it's nice to have something that isn't just a get run-of-the-mill gig, that actually there's some real meaning behind it. And that we've try and do our bit, and as we're doing as best we can to promote the whole thing, bring as many people in as we can, and hope everyone enjoys the day and the night. And we will too, and spend time with everyone. I think that's what Tina would have wanted. I never met her, but she sounds like that kind of person. And
oh yeah, she was, mate. She was a people person. Once you met Tina, you never forgot her.
No.
So yeah, so we want to do her proud, and imagine she's there and hopefully watching it, and raise the roof, innit?
Yeah, we're gonna blow that roof clean off, aren't we? And Tina's gonna hear us. She's gonna see us. She'll be there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Excellent.
Anyway, so thank you very much, Jay, for joining us. My gracious thanks to John as well for joining me here. And we look forward to seeing you at desTINAtion Festival 2023 on the 15th of August, 15th of July at the Corporation in Sheffield.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We're really looking forward to it too, and looking forward to meet you all there as well.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. You take care.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye. Take care now.
Bye.
Bye.